Justice League success ushers in a new era for DC films and delivers lots of superhero fun at the expense of a richer and more layered movie, is the third DC comic book movie adaptation directed by Zack Snyder, as well as the fifth overall installment in DC's shared cinematic universe, unofficially known as the DC Extended Universe. In many ways, however, the film is less a conclusion to Snyder's DC superhero trilogy, though it does pay off certain plot character threads from and more a launch point for the next generation of live-action DC movies. Similar to how DC Rebirth drew from the New 52 DC Comics initiative, incorporates core elements of Snyder's previous DC films into a larger world of superheroes. With its own tone and style, success ushers in a new era for DC films and delivers lots of superhero fun at the expense of a richer and more layered movie. Following the death of Superman Henry Cavill, the world remains in mourning for its lost savior, even as superheroes like Batman Bruce Wayne, Ben Affleck and Wonder Woman Diana Prince Gal Gadot step up to their own crime-fighting efforts, in Kal-El's absence. However, with the Man of Steel gone, humanity now faces a greater threat than anything on Earth, that of Steppenwolf Kieran Hines, an ancient extraterrestrial being who has returned to our planet to recover 3 items of immense power known as the Mother Boxes, thousands of years after he was defeated by the 3 major races of Earth: the Amazonians, Atlanteans, and man. Commissioner Gordon J.K. Simmons, with Wonder Woman, Batman, and The Flash in Justice League, realizing that they alone cannot stop Steppenwolf and his army of monstrous parademons, Batman and Wonder Woman set out to put together a team that includes the 3 other metahumans that they know of: the Speedster Barry Allen, Ezra Miller, the half-human half-Atlantean Arthur Curry, aka the Aquaman Jason Momoa, and Victor Stone Ray Fisher, a cyborg who was created and gifted with extraordinary powers by one of the Mother Boxes. As powerful as these superheroes are, as a team fighting together, it eventually becomes clear to Batman that their combined might may not be enough to prevent Steppenwolf from carrying out his terrible plan. No, if they are going to save the world, they are going to need some help. While Snyder was at the helm during production, drawing from a screen story that he co-wrote with his collaborator Chris Terrio, it was filmmaker Joss Whedon who oversaw the movie's reshoots, earning himself a co-screenwriting credit for his efforts, after Snyder stepped down in the wake of a personal tragedy. As a result, doesn't have the same auteur sensibility as though the film's more idiosyncratic touches and stylistic flourishes very much feel like Snyder's handiwork in a good way, from the style opening credits set to Sigrid's rendition of Everybody Knows, to the movie's snapshot-esque slow motion during its many colorful and splashy action scenes. Aided by bright and crisp cinematography from Fabian Wagner and a lively soundtrack by Danny Elfman that nods to DC's history on the big screen, Snyder moves away from the darkly operatic political allegories of his previous DC movies to deliver a proper crowd-pleaser of playful banter and visually pleasing spectacle, with Aquaman Jason Momoa in Justice League. However, what offers in terms of whiz-bang entertainment, it lacks with respect to thematic substance. Whereas were social parables told through the lens of comic book tentpoles, is more of a conventional narrative about superheroes from different backgrounds coming together to battle a common enemy and serve as a beacon of hope and symbol of unity for humankind, complete with the world-building and franchise setup that audiences have come to expect from modern shared universe blockbusters. That also means there's too much going on for to service all of its dramatic moments and plot points equally, resulting in certain story character elements that are noticeably better developed than others. Still, all things considered, Final Cut does a solid job of lining what was clearly a bigger film at one point. See the various trailer moments that aren't in the movie, for the proof into a 2-hour film-going experience that never drags and provides simple, but complete, arcs for most every one of its main players. The screen chemistry between and performances from the members of the Justice League itself serve as the glue that holds the film together. Gadot and Affleck are both noticeably more comfortable in their respective superhero roles here, which build on their previous DC film appearances, allowing their versions of Wonder Woman and Batman to naturally evolve into being the mom and dad in the Justice League family unit. Of the 3 less established superheroes here, Miller as Barry Allen, Flash is easily the scene stealer, and brings loads of charisma, humor, and heart to his performance as the League's most enthusiastic, but least experienced, member. 1. Whose Speed Force powers are among the film's most dazzling visual effects. Fisher also makes a nice impression here as the more broody cyborg, who is very much the brains of the operation and whose story, much like his abilities born from alien tech, is ripe for further exploration in the future. While Mo Mao is equally entertaining as Aquaman, the rock star loner of the group, he is shortchanged in terms of development here, possibly to save room for his solo film in 2018. Still, Mo Mao's scenes are enough to leave you wanting to learn more about the character and his aquatic super abilities. Down the line, Cyborg Ray Fisher in Justice League as part of the lining of S narrative during its development. A number of supporting characters that were once slated to appear in the film, like Iris West and Newidis Volko, wound up on the cutting room floor instead. Similarly, the side players who did make it into the movie's final cut, including returning players such as Martha Kent, Diane Lane and Lois Lane, Amy Adams, as well as newcomers like Commissioner Gordon J.K. Simmons and Mera Amber Heard, are mostly relegated to moving the plot along here. Nevertheless, S Ensemble makes the most of the screen time they are afforded, providing audiences with all the more reason to want to see them. Especially the new additions get more fulfilling roles in future DC films. As for Heinz's Steppenwolf, he's very much a two-dimensional, cartoony CGI supervillain driven by little more than a thirst for power and revenge, but he's no worse than the average one-and-done superhero.